Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mark, the Subpar Sports Guy, and this game I'm pretty much going to let the gameplay speak for itself. I'm not going to commentate about what's happening in the video. I really want to get into my thoughts on this game, so you guys, especially for those of you who are on the fence of whether or not you want to buy this game, should get it. Getting as many opinions as you can to save you $60 or to spend $60 and get a really fun game out of it and get money, something that's worth $60 and not just coded over MLB 14 the show is really important for a lot of you guys. So here's my opinion on the game. To start, if I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it a 9. So I think the game is extremely fun, and I think it's definitely a game that you should get. So if you guys want to get out of the video now and just see whether or not you should get the game, well, for those of you that want to leave early, yes, you should get the game. Those of you that want to hear why, I guess you could stick with this video. Here's the thing. I think there's more and more people who want a simulation game. Gone are the days, for sure, where people really want to play an arcade sports game. A lot of sports fans want to play something that's as realistic and as close to sim as possible. Of course, there's some players that want to play arcade games, but they're probably playing on older consoles, and there's surely a demand for that. But right now, especially with the PS4 and what it's capable of doing, in the Xbox One and what it's capable of doing, people want to play simulation games. I still think we're a couple years out on some sports of getting something that's pretty close. I'm not going to name those games, but MLB is, in my opinion, if I had to vote what sports game is the closest to a simulation as a real thing, this would have my vote for sure. I think it's a really clean game. I don't experience too many glitches, and there's really no, I guess you could call it cheesing. For those of you that are huge 2K fans, obviously cheesing is a huge term there. Tons of things to beat the computer. There's really not too many ways to cheese the computer. Are there ways? Of course, and there's pretty much always going to be. I don't think there's going to be a perfect game anytime soon, but this is definitely something where when you're playing the game, it doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't feel cheesy. Going on to, I guess we'll move on to the fact of whether or not, if you had 14, should you get 15? Is it just a glossed over, coded over version, updated rosters, blah blah blah? It doesn't feel like 14. Here's the thing, it definitely feels like 14. So if you liked 14, you like the feel of 14, then it's an easy fix. There's really not a ton of changes. From the changes, like, for example, if you played Madden 25 to Madden 15 felt different. NBA 2K14 to NBA 2K15 felt different. Just because you were good at one of those games meant you still had some learning to do to get better at the next year. This is, in my opinion, feels very similar. But it doesn't feel so similar that it feels like the same game. They've definitely improved a couple animations. They've definitely added new presentation. They had a huge laundry list of adding something like 900 new presentation animations and a bunch of new batting stances and a ton of new gear. But that being said, it's the little things like that that make games more simulation. There's so much detail that's put into this game. It just feels so realistic, in my opinion. And I think the important thing is the gameplay is there too. The gameplay feels realistic. If you have an inside pitch and you're early, you have to be early on it in order to get a solid swing. Outside pitch, you have to have a late swing. And I know that sounds kind of basic, and we've had that for years, but it's just so well done, in my opinion. I think Sony did an excellent job with this game, and I'm glad that they have this for the PS4, and I'm glad that I have a PS4 to play this game, because I absolutely love it. So again, to answer your question, yes, this game is absolutely worth it. With all the new modes, they made a couple changes. Diamond Dynasty is, I think, where you're going to see the biggest change. They made it so I haven't even gone into Diamond Dynasty, so I apologize if I'm wrong. I really shouldn't even be speaking on this, but I know for a fact if you're playing in Road to the Show or Franchise, or maybe even just an exhibition, I'm pretty sure you can end up getting cards for Diamond Dynasty, which I think is awesome. So I've played Franchise. I've gotten out of the Franchise, gone to the main menu, or gone out of, I think I've just gone out of the game, and then when I come back on and log back onto my PS4 and get into the game, it says I have a new card, which is just awesome. Sometimes the cards are awful, sometimes they're bronze, and I've gotten good cards. I've gotten some gold cards like Ryan Braun, Jose Reyes, guys like that. So I mean, it's really cool when you're getting gear and stuff like that. There's also a new marketplace which you can sell your gear, you can sell your cards, and it's a massive marketplace. And to be honest, I didn't think it would be very busy when I first saw it. But actually it's relatively busy, I would say. I think there's definitely people who are buying and selling on it, and I think it's an active marketplace, and it's a really great idea. But back to mostly what Diamond Dynasty, a big change they made is that you can only have one created player for a little while, I believe. I don't know for how long, and then you're playing with mostly MLB players. So it's definitely much more like an Ultimate Team or a My Team game, and way less of just creating players. So I know a lot in MLB 14, the show, they had a bunch of created players, a bunch of teams were all 99 overalls, and it was really frustrating for people to play teams that were all against 99 created players that were just absolute studs and superstars with 99 power, 99 contact, etc. You know how it works. Just incredible players. It's frustrating to play against those teams. So I think you're going to see that much less. And I'm hoping they're pretty active about adding new cards and all that good stuff. But it's such a complex game mode, and there's so much to it. You could probably spend an hour, 2 hours just explaining everything about that game mode. So anyways, I don't want to get too much into that. As far as Road to the Show goes, I didn't play it too much. I played a couple games, so any of the new changes, I'm definitely not the guy to ask about whether or not they made any massive changes to that. But I'll end off on this. The best feature they added was continuing off of multiple years. And I know I said this in my very first video, but you can continue your franchise and Road to the Show in MLB 16, so you'll be able to continue off of that. You can also this year continue off of your MLB 14, the show, Road to the Show, or franchise, which is just absolutely incredible. But I hope this helped, guys. I know I rambled on a little bit, but I really hope it helps you guys make an opinion. I definitely think this is a game you should pick up. But that being said, thanks for watching. There will definitely be more videos. Have a good one, guys.